Welcome back to What the Football?
What the football, man?
What the Football?
Hey, there it is.
I'm your host, Caleb Gregler, along with
Your co-host, Tadhg Morosky. Oh, wow. I'm energized today.
I wonder why.
It.
It doesn't. Hold on. It just now said recording in progress after it had the recording tab.
But I heard it say recording in progress before that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Perfect. Apparently, my computer just wanted to wake up.
You got the delay. Yours just got a little bit of a delay.
Shocking from my computer. Thank you guys for joining yet another episode. It's bright outside. It felt like a day of fall today. It really did.
It really did.
Walked
you know
outside.
what I just thought of?
What?
I just thought of. Yes, longtime listeners will get that reference.
Yes, that I might have to incorporate into the YouTube videos here. And I think Saturday is a fantastic day to start that. Because boys, as good as this show is going to be,
and ladies.
Did I say guys?
You said boys, which was like very.
I meant to say guys as a collective group of people.
I think what Lizzie's professor says is guys, gals, and non-binary pals. So we're welcoming of all of you, please.
Of course.
Everyone listen.
Football is for everyone, as the NFL has stated before. And What the Football is for everyone as well. So there you go. We are here today. We're going to go over just some cuts that were made. One in particular that affects my friend to my left here,
a dearly beloved man,
and then we'll have our Mount Rushmore for all AFC teams.
Classic.
So cuts. Every team has to cut their roster down from 90 to 53. That happened Tuesday, and one was
David Moore of the Panthers.
What?
David Moore of the Panthers. That's who we're talking about, right?
Correct. Well, yeah, I was going to talk about Joey Sly, but
he deserved it. I'm sorry, Joseph. I love you, but you deserved it, my man.
Before we talk about the one-time MVP, one-time Super Bowl appearance, man, Cam Newton, Superman, Cam himself. We have two new kickers on our teams, Tadhg. Yeah. Both of our teams got rid of their kickers that have been.
I just feel so sad, but go ahead and talk about your kicker.
Well, I do have a fun stat. He had a just over 90% field goal percentage rate before coining the term money badger. Everyone, Michael Badgley, the money badger, you know, it dropped to 75% after he trademarked that term. And if you call yourself the money badger, you kind of need to back it up.
You got to be money.
And I thought he was, and I was going to buy his jersey too, just because that, like, he wore 4, I wore 4 in high school. So I was like, okay, that'd be kind of cool.
It would have been sick. It would have been cool.
I can't anymore. Just because Money Badger is no longer Money Badger. He's just Badger at this point. And he's not playing on any NFL teams right now.
No, he is not.
Here's the thing. In his 3 years that he kicked for the Chargers, he was a perfect 100% inside the 40 yard inside field goals made from 40 or less.
That's good.
It was so bad from when you went past that. Oh boy. I mean, I think of like 4 or 5 games that come to the top of my head that, like, oh, we could win this game or tie it right here. The first one that comes to my mind is the Saints game last season.
I remember that. We were watching that together.
Oh yeah, we were. I was not happy.
I changed my pick to the Chargers just for you, and they sold me. So will never happen again. That will never happen. Sold. I will never make that mistake
Williams
again.
Caught like a 50-60 yard touchdown with like 2 minutes left, and then shocker, defense couldn't hold. But anyway, nonetheless, enough about kickers.
We have Ryan Santoso. Ryan Santoso is our new kicker.
That's not a name. Tristan Vizcaino is our new kicker, if that means anything.
Ryan Santoso has never kicked a field goal in a game before.
In an NFL game?
Nope.
Wait, same with mine.
Okay, sweet. Look at us go.
Oh, boys.
But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room, Cameron Jarrell.
I'll let you take away this one here.
Yeah, I mean, here's where I'll come from. I am not mad at the Patriots. I understand no one thought Cam was the future. We all understand that Mac is the future of the Patriots offense. And honestly, Cam is to blame for Mac getting an opportunity to show that he can play with some first team offense. I'm not blind to the fact that it was Cam's decision not to get vaccinated, which he does have every right to do. But he also, even though there was miscommunication, he still made the choice to not be vaccinated, which gave Mac a chance to hop in there and do well with the first team. And not that Cam was playing well, but they know he's not the future. What sucks is that Cam was never really given a fair shot in New England, in my eyes. He joined so late last year. He didn't get any OTAs, didn't get any preseason, played fairly well in the most complicated system in the NFL, and then got COVID. And then like the season like went downhill from there, except his last game. He had like 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, no picks. But I guess people don't want to talk about that. And then you go into this season, he's looking good in training camp. He's looking good. And then he plays his preseason game, goes 8 for 9, would have been 9 for 9 if without a drop, 100 yards and a touchdown. Looks awesome. And then this whole COVID protocol thing happens and he gets thrown out of there. Misses 5 days of practice. You know, everyone's still happy that he's back. And then it honestly came as a shock. I knew that Mac was playing well, but I still assumed Cam would be the starter week 1. And then they fit Mac into the system, but they obviously know something we don't. We're not in that locker room, and that's okay.
Yeah. And if not the starter week 1, if he was backing up, he'd be the best backup in the NFL.
Yeah, but here's my argument for why I don't think that he can ever be a backup. He's too much of an icon. That's not even me being an under. Like, he's genuinely too much like of a superstar to ever be a backup. Like, some quarterbacks can make that transition, but he takes too much control of a locker room. Like, he's just, you don't look at Cam Newton and say, oh, that guy's gonna like a backup quarterback. He's either in as a starting spot or he's out of the NFL. As sucky as that is to say, I still think he could have a job. Apparently he's meeting with the Giants,
the Cowboys as well.
Well, no, I think they cut ties with him.
They cut ties
recently.
Okay.
Yeah. Nothing like personal. It was just like didn't work out in the way, but I think Cowboys would have been a great spot for him because their backup situation is bad. And even if Cam doesn't get signed before the season, let's not all freak out. That means if a quarterback gets injured, he'll most likely be picked up during this season.
Yeah.
But he's meeting with the Giants. I mean, I think he'd be a good fit in New York. Like, that'd be kind of exciting to see.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a, and we'll talk about this tomorrow because shout out season 1, episode 1. It's a what do we say? Make or break year.
It's a prove it year.
Prove it year. That's what it is. It's a prove it year.
If Cam gets a chance, it will be a prove it year.
Yes, but more so for Daniel Jones.
Oh, for Daniel Jones, yeah, definitely. It's 100% a prove it year for Daniel Jones. If he's bad in the first 6 weeks, they're going to be looking to shop him, and they're going to be either drafting a new quarterback or picking one up. Hopefully it's Cameron. Hopefully Cam gets a job. I mean, I would hate for his career to end the way that it seems
sure
to be.
He will. Like,
he's too good. Genuinely, he's not. He's one of the best 32 quarterbacks in the NFL.
Correct.
I can say that wholeheartedly, which means he should have a starting job.
Yes, that is correct.
I mean, I think most people think he's better than Mac, but Mac is the future, and you don't want to kill Mac's confidence.
No, and here's the thing. Mac looked good in the preseason. I have his preseason stats up. He went 13 for 19, 87 yards in his debut. That's, I mean, okay. You're not going to say, wow.
He's going against third stringers also. He's starting the second halves and stuff.
Correct. Then went 13 for 19 again in his second game, 146. Still no touchdowns, no picks though. That's the highlight there. It's a guy that's not going to turn the ball over. Yeah. And then in the most recent game, he went 10 for 14, 156 and a touchdown.
I'm not trying to discredit Mac. I think Mac is a very capable starter in this league.
Yeah.
I was certainly happy the 49ers didn't trade up for him. Like, Trey Lance is a superstar. I did not think Mac Jones was a superstar.
No.
But Mac Jones is a guy that can get the job done. He can lead a team to a 10-7, 11-6 record.
Definitely.
Vying for a playoff spot because he has such a good team around him. The only thing is Cam, definitely early Cam. I don't know about current Cam, honestly. From the healthy part I saw of him last year, he can. But then once he got COVID and went to downhill, like I don't know if he can anymore. But his last game was very good. It was also against the Jets. So like there's a lot of like
take it with a grain of salt.
Qualifiers, exactly. Yeah. But like he gives you a higher ceiling, in my opinion. But definitely a lower floor as well. I'm not blind to the fact of Cam Newton. I dealt with him for 10 years as a Panthers quarterback.
And he's also 10 years older or 9 years older, however much older he is than Mac. And I mean, I think Mac out of most of the rookies, I think he's probably the second or third most NFL ready quarterback.
Definitely. It's like Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence is obviously first.
I think he's probably the second most ready.
I would agree. I mean, he's just the system that he was in Alabama, the style of football that he plays.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not the most athletic guy. We all know that. We're not blind to that. But his arm accuracy, and I hate comparing players to Tom Brady because Tom Brady is a one of a kind, but the style of play that he exhibits out on the field is a Tom Brady-esque player where it's kind of short and medium,
about
accuracy, get the ball out quick, find your space in the pocket,
which is not Cam's game. And so you can't have two quarterbacks that are complete opposite play styles. Which it makes like that's what I'm saying. I'm not mad at the Patriots, and I'm glad they released him rather than trading him to a team just for him to be a backup. Like I respect what the Patriots did, and Bill Belichick has always stood by Cam. He likes Cam. He's shown that he says Cam's a great leader, great guy to have in the locker room. But I understand you don't want your backup quarterback to lead the locker room. You want your quarterback to be leading the locker room. So I understand. Yeah. Should we move on to the Mount Rushmores just in case my computer dies?
Yes. After I pose this one question to you.
Okay.
Make it a quick answer. Do you think that if Cam Newton didn't have a bad last preseason game, that he would still be on that roster?
No. I think preseason's kind of taken with a grain of salt anyways.
Yeah.
So like good or bad, I think they made their decision, and I think it was not because of the COVID protocol. I don't think that was the issue. I think the issue is that gave Mac the opportunity to show that he's ready to be in this league.
Yeah.
Which is Cam's fault.
Yeah. And
but I love you, Cameron.
Yeah, there you go. And one thing I do, we know how much we love tangents here on this show. What the football, baby? Merch coming soon, maybe.
We should, dude. Okay, hear me out with this shirt idea. Tell me if you guys would like it. It's a tan shirt, just like like comfort color kind of tan.
Sure.
Like those clothes like a worship leader would wear with like black pants, like one of those tan shirts. But it just says WTFootball, period. It's like super plain, like so that people would actually want to wear it, and it's not just a huge logo.
A huge what the football logo.
Like I feel like that'd be kind of cool. I feel like people would wear that.
I would wear it.
Well, I hope we would wear it.
Yeah. I really, really would hope so.
Wow.
One thing that I want to talk about really, really, really quickly before we
go
on to our Mount Rushmores. There was a whole thing with the Jaguars that came out that said Urban Meyer said yes, he cut people because of their COVID stuff, and then the Jaguars released a thing saying no, that wasn't a factor. We all take this very seriously, and we're all doing our best. And roster decisions were not made due to vaccination, either whether you got vaccinated or unvaccinated. My issue with that, I did want to share my opinion with that. If there are 3 or 4 guys that you are, okay, I need to make a decision to keep 1 or 2 of these 3 or 4 guys, and 1 or 2 of them are vaccinated and 1 or 2 of them are not, you're
taking the vaccinated guy.
You're taking the vaccinated players 100% because those guys give you the best chance to stay healthy.
We talked about on an earlier episode where like if a game gets canceled, like it's an automatic loss to that team, and they don't get paid. Like I'm like, you can have your beliefs, of course, and what you want to do, but like at the end of the day, it's a business, and they got to do what's in their best interest. So like, I don't think it's stupid to say, yeah, we're gonna keep the guys that are gonna remain.
Now, here's the thing: I do think it is stupid to say out loud.
I guess
if you're gonna do it. Don't say it. I'm sure other teams did it and didn't say anything about it.
Certainly, every team probably did it.
Yeah. I just think
that's fair. Yeah.
Don't be dumb enough to say it out loud, but be smart enough to not say it and do it.
Dude, I'm so scared. We're gonna be beating the clock with this charging system.
All right, what percentage are you at here?
25.
All right,
even though I'm plugged into a charger, which is I hate everything in this life.
All right. Let's get into
Let's
it.
go.
Here.
Let's go.
All right. So we'll start off in the AFC East.
Okay. That's the last one I did.
Oh, okay. Buffalo Bills.
All right. I'm just going to go. Okay.
Go for it.
Jim Kelly.
Yes.
You say agree or disagree. Okay. Bruce Smith.
Yep.
Andre Reed.
Yep.
OJ Simpson.
Yeah. I mean,
like, I hate that we have OJ, but like he literally had a 2,000-yard season in 14 games.
Yeah.
that's so stupid.
And I guess if you want to take out OJ, you could put Thurman Thomas in there. I wouldn't have an issue with that.
But he's just not as good. Like I know like it is like, upsetting because he's like most likely guilty for those.
Oh,
like,
I'm comfortable with saying he's 100%.
Yeah, but like this is a football list. Like at the end of the day, like this is a football
who
list.
didn't murder 2 people.
He would be first on not that list. He would be.
No, he would not be.
He'd be so far off that list.
You get Ray Lewis, you get Aaron Hernandez. That's a Mount Rushmore that I want to see right there.
I don't want to go anywhere, dude. Mount Rushmore. Okay, sweet.
Have you seen agreements? Again, one quick thing. Did you see the quote that OJ Simpson said a couple of weeks ago? He was like, "I'm kind of scared to go out in LA because I'm scared I might be next to the person who really did it." Like, bro, you don't have to fool anyone anymore. You're acquitted. We know
such
you
a
did
meme.
it. You don't have to go to jail anymore for it. Oh no.
What?
Oh no.
Is it Coda? Yeah. Oh, I need Coda to start making those noises.
Here's the thing. You want to jump on the couch so quickly. There he comes.
Right, look at him just chilling. I respect it.
Yeah, he's chilling.
Okay, next team.
Up next, we have the Miami Dolphins.
This one was easy for the first two, I'll say.
Sure.
I have Marino and Don Shula.
Definitely.
Those are staples.
Yeah, I have both of those guys.
Yeah.
Larry Zonka's on my list as well.
I have Larry Zonka as well.
And Bob Greasy.
Okay, I have Jason Taylor just because I feel like he was more of like a star, and that's how I looked at him. Like when I think of the Dolphins and those classic jerseys, like I think of him. I don't know, but like, sure, I have no issues with.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like I would have to include some guys from that 72 squad for sure.
Definitely,
since they are the only undefeated team, which is insane to think about.
Patriots almost were, but then Eli Manning.
Patriots almost were, and then Eli Manning, the third best quarterback to come out of the 04 class.
You know who else almost was? Carolina Panthers. Like somehow we were 2 games away.
Yeah, that's sad.
Which is pretty freaking sick. Okay, Patriots. This one was pretty interesting to me.
This one we had talked about, or I had mentioned to you on the phone a couple days ago, where this one I genuinely might have. I saw this list. I was like, you know what? Why not go for it, right? Why not have a player, a coach, and an owner on?
You did it. Okay, you did it.
I did it. I felt like, Robert Kraft,
why not?
Minus Jerry Jones is like the most recognizable owner in football.
Definitely.
He definitely has some of the most impact on a team other than
easily.
Jerry Jones or Robert Kraft. Bill Belichick, obviously. I mean,
Bill Belichick's on mine. I'll tell you that much. Brady, of course.
I don't know if Brady has done enough to do it yet.
Cam is the only one I have too, and he is also on this Patriots one.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. Mine is Brady and Belichick, which you also have, but you also have Robert Kraft. Who's your fourth?
This one took me a little bit of time. I was like, okay. I was thinking, okay, offense, sure. Defense, okay. There's a couple guys.
Ty Law.
Yeah. All fantastic players.
Rodney Harrison.
He was a former Charger. he was a Charger for a couple of years.
We're not doing this.
I was like, I could put a guy like that on my list. But we don't show kickers enough love on here.
Vinatieri.
So why not go with one of the greatest kickers of all time?
It hurt me to pick him on my list too, just because of his impact against the Panthers and taking away our other Super Bowl opportunity.
That's understandable.
But here's the thing, because I have my personal rule is I can't have someone on multiple lists.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you right now, I had Vinatieri on my Colts list at first.
And
I had done the AFC South first. I don't know why I did it in the order that I did. But then I got to the AFC East and got to the Patriots. I was like, Vinatieri, like, honestly, he might have been better on the Colts, like as a kicker, but his impact on the league was more felt when he was on the Patriots. He had two game-winning field goals.
Winners,
two in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
which is unreal. So I have him, and then my fourth guy is probably the most talented tight end we've ever seen, Gronk. In his prime, I don't think you're taking anyone over Gronkowski at anyone's peak. He had probably the greatest peak we've ever seen. Didn't last a super, super long time.
Yeah.
But so even in the Super Bowl last year, man had 2 touchdowns. Like, let's give the man his respect.
Oh, all yeah. Right. I mean, he hadn't played in what? I think it was just a year, right?
2 years, a year and a half, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and then he comes out, Super Bowl, just shows up.
And killed it. Of course.
So, yeah, mine is Brady, Belichick, Gronk, and Vinatieri. So we just switched out Gronk and Robert Kraft.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, sure. Robert Kraft was a little bit of a long shot. I was like, you know what?
It's not a long shot. I wouldn't say it's a long shot.
You gotta make the list fun. You gotta make the list have some random things in here.
I mean, again, it's a team's Mount Rushmore. It's not just of players, which we've said time and time again. So yeah. All right.
And
Jets. Jets, baby.
Jets.
Here's what hurts. You literally have to have Joe Namath,
which sucks because he was not a good quarterback.
More picks than touchdowns in his whole career, which if you do that in a season, it's looked at like, ew. He did that in his career, but Broadway Joe, like this list is a lot about star power, and he had more star power than anyone back in the day.
Yeah.
He has to be. When you think of Jets, that's the first dude I think of.
He won a Super Bowl in a fur coat. Like that's
I'm pretty sure he wore that during the game. I'm pretty sure that's a fact about him.
It's so pimp. He'll wear it too. Like if you go to or if you see the NFL honors, like all that, you see him just chilling in a fur coat. You have some like hot 30-year-old blonde next to him. Like what in the world, dude? That man is still just pimping out in his 70s.
So he's got to be on there.
Definitely.
I'll just quickly run through mine. I have Darrell Revis, which I'm sure you do too.
I do. Absolutely.
Then I have Curtis Martin.
Yep.
And I have Kevin Mayway.
Okay. That was a guy that I saw.
He's like one of the best offensive linemen I've ever seen play. And he's kind of one of the first guys. I remember playing NFL Street. I think he was in it for no reason.
Yeah.
And like, I just remember seeing him and he just always looked funny in his like picture. So like, I don't know. He's just kind of a star in my head, but I mean, it's a random one. Who do you got?
I had Don Maynard, another guy. I had a guy from the all the 60s and the early 70s
when they were actually very good.
Like the only time in their career.
I have Mark Sanchez.
Besides the 2 years that they went to the AFC Championship with Mark Sanchez.
Rex Ryan.
What? They beat the Chargers 1 year in the wild card.
Of course they did.
And I was so confused. Shocked that Nate Kading missed 3 field goals that game. But
so confused.
Like Mark Sanchez is literally looked at like a meme. I mean, he had the most embarrassing play in history.
The butt fumble,
yeah.
All right.
But like we do forget that like he was a serviceable quarterback in his time in the NFL.
I looked up his stats and I was not impressed, to be honest.
Oh no, there's nothing impressive, but it's not like oh, that's Joe Namath. No, it was better than Joe Namath.
Oh, his stats are definitely better than Joe Namath. He had 86. Never mind. He had 86 touchdowns and 89 picks.
So darn. That's sad.
He had a 12-20 ratio in 09.
Yeah. Yeah.
He had a 17-13 ratio in 10.
What was like 2012, 2013?
Well, because the years that they went to the playoffs were 09 and 10.
Correct. Yeah.
2012, he didn't play in 2013. 2012 was his last year in New York. He threw for 13 touchdowns and 18 picks with 2,800 yards.
That's what it was. So like Phillip Rivers had like almost an identical season to that, except he had like 4,000 yards.
Ew, he had the same touchdown to interception thing?
Not the exact same. I mean, I'm sure he had more touchdowns, more picks because they threw the ball more after LT left to the Jets.
Well, all right, let's move on to the next team.
Let's see what percentage.
North. After one division, we're at 22%.
Oh, okay. So we're chilling. My computer, I just want you to know this, is just like a little laggy.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, like literally, like I'll move my cursor around a little bit and like go back to my list, like for my list to the Zoom call here.
Yeah.
And like my cursor will freeze. I get back to the Zoom call and I see myself lagging in the picture. So hopefully
I see your face. You're always like Then he like goes back.
Speaking of the AFC North, I was gonna say this when we were talking about Cam Newton. What if Baker Mayfield gets hurt and the Browns
Caleb, don't
sign
say
Cam
that. Don't
before
say that
week
to me.
6, and I get to go see the Chargers and the Browns play Cam versus the
I'm not
Chargers?
kidding. Like, if that does happen, Caleb, you're spotting me a ticket. Like, I'm telling, like, you like can't go to a Browns game where Cam is. That would be like my greatest fantasy come true. That would be like if Margot Robbie knocked on the door right now. I would end this podcast.
I would want you to. I would
like,
so want
that's
you to.
the equivalent. Like, that is literally what I would equivalent that to. Of
That's
like
so
if Cam goes to the Browns and then wins a Super Bowl. So
it's not impossible to happen. I'm just saying.
that's true. That's true.
But oh well, I'll get to see Baker instead. It's not like you like him too much, right? He's only what, your second favorite quarterback in the league?
Can we just move on to the next team?
Speaking of the Browns, I know they're not first alphabetically in the AFC North, but we're already talking about them. So let's go with the Cleveland Browns.
Fitting last name. I got Jim Brown first.
If you don't have him on this list,
you're wrong.
You don't know. Oh, lacking. Okay. Yeah, you're straight up incorrect about everything you've ever talked about in your entire life.
I also have Joe Thomas.
I do too.
The pinnacle of loyalty to a franchise when they're bad.
The pinnacle of Iron Man. The pinnacle of the best ability is availability.
Yeah, he is the biggest embodiment of our catchphrase on the show.
Yeah.
Is it already at 21%? We got Otto Graham here.
Yep.
And then Ozzie Newsome. That's rounding out my 4.
Okay.
Why are we always 3 out of 4 with each other? Who's your 4?
I mean, there's a lot of these teams that are they have at least one or two like bona fide. Okay, these are like the greatest players in their careers. Who'd you say was your 4th one?
Ozzie Newsome.
Okay. I have Lou Groza.
Okay, sure.
I mean, he was an offense. He was a tackle. As well as a kicker.
I got Ozzie on here because he was like, again, like when people have a big impact on the game, that puts some sort of like feeling for me to put them on a list. And he was one of those great tight ends before tight ends were like an important position at all.
Yeah.
And we're just looked at his blockers. Like, he had like a couple of 1,000-yard seasons in his career in the 70s.
In the 70s, yeah.
Like that was unheard of, 70s and 80s.
It was until the mid to late 80s, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because he had in 1981, he had 1,000 yards, which and then 1984, he had another 1,000-yard season, and he was first team All-Pro. So it was more so just about the impact that he had on future tight ends for this generation. That's why we see guys like Kelsey and Kittle and Waller.
Yeah, I mean, Kellen Winslow too, but hey.
Oh well, of course.
But yes, Ozzie Newsome definitely one of those guys that helped pioneer the what tight ends are today.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, Browns kind of a poverty franchise, no big deal.
I mean, there's a few. I'm not going. No, they're incredible, and that's what makes. All right, my new one is just Baker Mayfield 4 times. That's my Browns Mount Rushmore.
Baker Mayfield. It's just going to be Myles Garrett. Mason Rudolph has to be on there just because.
Okay, Bengals, because wow, am I at 20%?
Oh wow, you're at 20%.
I don't know how. I might write this all the way down right now. Can barely see you. Okay, Bengals.
Yeah. All right. I have Anthony Munoz.
Yes, best lineman ever. Go.
Yeah. Ken Anderson, quarterback.
Me too. Quarterback for like I think a million years
at least. Boomer Esiason.
Me too.
I don't know if this is unpopular. I have AJ Green here.
AJ Green. I will tell you, I considered AJ Green. But my only argument is that I think they had another receiver who is more iconic.
Yeah.
And I went with Ocho Cinco.
Ocho, yeah.
Yeah. That was just my only argument. I did consider AJ Green, but I was like, who's more iconic in our generation? It's probably AJ Green because like what was he drafted in 2011, I think?
Yeah.
Or 2012. Yeah.
2011, I think.
I think it was the same as Julio.
Same as Julio, yep.
And Cameron Human.
And Cam.
So I was like, definitely in our generation, AJ Green, because we watched his whole prime and the downfall of his prime.
Of course.
But Ocho Cinco literally is just like such an icon in the
literally,
game.
Yeah.
all his celebrations, his antics on the field, like it just makes him like he literally changed his last name to his jersey number, which
and
is
then changed it back.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's our Bengals one. We just differ on that receiver, and that's cool.
Icon wise, I mean, yeah, definitely Ocho Cinco had more of a cultural impact than
I actually want to see Chad's stats. So I didn't look at them. I just kind of went with it.
Yeah.
Look up AJ Green's quickly if you can. If you're
I'm gonna do it on my phone so that my computer doesn't have an aneurysm.
I just want to see because I don't even know if Ocho Cinco was that great. Well, he had, he only
he was pretty decent. I know that.
01 to 2011. I didn't know he was with Cincy the whole time except for 2011 when he played 3 games with New England.
Pretty good.
I thought he jumped around a little bit more, to be honest. Yeah. Well, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight 1,100 plus yard seasons.
Wow.
A 14, a couple 1,300 yarders. Hovered around 8 or 9 touchdowns for his career.
Yeah.
So honestly, yeah, I'm happy with my pick. He's better. He's about what I assumed, which was a star receiver.
Yeah. AJ Green had 6 out of 7. He's played 9 years in the league now. But his first 6 out of 7 years, he had over 1,000 yards. Was always the first. 2016 was a down year. He had 964 and 4 touchdowns. But other than that, he hit double-digit touchdowns 3 times.
Yeah. Oh, AJ Green was a bucket, dude.
Oh, yeah. I always think whenever I think of AJ Green, I think of that game against the Ravens where the Ravens, it was a Hail Mary at the end of the game and the Ravens DBs like tip it up and he's just in the back of the end zone, and he's like taps it
with the 2. Oh my gosh, dude, that play is so sick. I just think of him jumping and like moving his legs perfectly to get his feet in somehow every time. Okay, let's move right along because we are at 19%.
Okay, all right, let's hurry it up here. Let's go to the Baltimore Ravens here.
Okay, Lamar Jackson. I'm just kidding. All right, I'll tell you. These are the easy ones. Ray Lewis and Ed Reed are staples.
Easily.
I have shout out Jonathan.
Okay, good. I was hoping you would have him on the list.
Had to give him a shout out.
Of course.
And then Terrell Suggs is my 4th.
I have him on the list too.
I'll tell you, I consider Joe Flacco.
That's the other one that I was considering.
He's like their best quarterback in their history, but he's not very good. Is my issue. And
I would always have arguments in high school with shout out Carey High quarterback Keon Hicks because he's a diehard Ravens fan. Mm-hmm. And we would go back and forth, especially like our freshman and sophomore year.
Almighty Queso.
Oh yeah, Almighty Queso. Shout out his Xbox gamer tag. And we would always go back and forth about how he thought Joe Flacco was elite and like better than Phillip Rivers. I was like,
okay, that's like. The Eli Manning Phil debate is like a good one just because of the accolades. There is literally no argument for Joe Flacco. There's literally not one argument for Joe
and
Flacco.
He won a Super Bowl. Phillip Rivers did not come close. Well, he came close in 06, but
you know what? I'm going to take out Terrell, and this doesn't even mean anything, but I'm going to put Joe Flacco purely because it's like the MVP thing, how like it's usually a quarterback.
Yeah.
And like this is a Mount Rushmore. I don't know how many teams should have no quarterback on their Mount Rushmore. Like you should have one, even if they weren't that great. They're still your team's best ever quarterback. And I'm going to give Joe Flacco his respect for being the Ravens' best quarterback so far in their franchise.
I would even say Lamar's better at this point.
I can't say at this point. I need Lamar to give me like 3 more years of greatness.
Sure.
Just because Joe Flacco has a Super Bowl. And if Lamar doesn't win one, then he didn't really do much for their franchise other than bring him to lose to Patrick Mahomes in like a divisional round.
Yeah.
But for the time being, I'm gonna pick
and the Chargers in the wild card. Hello.
Obviously, everyone saw that I had Terrell Suggs, but I'm gonna change mine to Joe Flacco.
I don't remember that. You had Joe from the get-go.
Dang it, don't tell people.
All right.
Steelers.
And then we go on to probably one of the
my old favorite team.
That was my dad's first favorite team.
Okay, me and your dad are the same because that was my first favorite team. So
if my dad was never a Chargers fan,
I
would have grown up a Steelers fan. How ugly
Marky
is that?
Mark. Shout out to our social media guy who very well may be dead.
Shout out to the third and final member of this WhatTheFootball crew.
18%. Steelers. We got Troy Polamalu.
Yeah.
Mean Joe Green.
Yes.
And then I have 2 quarterbacks. I have Big Ben and Terry Bradshaw.
I also have Big Ben and Terry Bradshaw.
I almost didn't put Big Ben for a second. Then I looked at his stats and I was like, okay, no, he's better than Terry, but I feel like I have to have Terry.
Well, yeah, a 4-time Super Bowl champion, you should probably put him in your list.
Exactly. That was my thing. It's like, well, Big Ben is better than Terry Bradshaw.
Yeah.
But Terry Bradshaw has to be on the list. So therefore, Big Ben has
definitely a bigger icon than him for sure.
Yeah.
Just in sports, I guess, media and everything. I almost took a Big Ben out for Franco Harris. Just because of the immaculate reception alone.
Or even the bus.
Yeah.
Could have been on, could have made an appearance.
Yeah.
But Big Ben, I mean, top 10 in like every passing stat at this point. Yeah. Multiple 5,000-yard seasons, 500-yard passing games, Super Bowl wins. Like, he's just kind of done it all except win an MVP. But, like, you know, Cam has.
Hines Ward, too, is a good on.
Hines Ward, Santonio Holmes, literally just for that catch. James Harrison.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like
a lot of good players in Steelers history. I mean, they've been one of the best franchises in the NFL.
I mean, even with nowadays, like, I don't think they've had a losing record since
Mike Tomlin's been a head coach.
Yeah, since he's been the head coach, which
is insane to think about.
No, I don't even want to.
Grandpa, if you're listening, I hate the Steelers, and I'm sorry that I will never like them.
70%. Next team.
We got the AFC South up next.
Yeah, let's do it.
We got the newest franchise to the NFL back in 2002. We have the Houston Texans here. So this one is pretty much all going to be new players.
Yeah, and that's okay. That's what I was doing. I was like, I don't even feel bad about this. Like,
well, you shouldn't, because that's the only option.
So I'm just going to go.
Okay.
There's two staples have to be on here: Andre Johnson, JJ Watt. They're guaranteed. They're guaranteed. Arian Foster's a guy I have.
Thank you. Okay. Arian Foster was so good for like 3 years.
For like 3 years, he was like the best running back in the NFL.
Yes, absolutely.
Here's a little special. One of my other rules: you got to have a quarterback, and I got Matt Schaub.
Yeah, I was about to say, did you put Matt Schaub on this list? That's shocking.
Their team's best quarterback, bro.
I mean, he was, and that doesn't. I mean, Deshaun Watson, I would already say, is better than Matt Schaub.
Yeah, but I don't think I'm allowed to put him right now with his predicament going on.
No. I don't have Matt Schaub. Again,
disrespectful.
I have D-Hop. I mean,
that's fair. It was Matt Schaub or D-Hop, and I was like, I have my rule where I have to have a quarterback. Apparently,
that's understandable. If you're gonna put most impact on the franchise, there's no one else that has done that better than Bill O'Brien. Not in a positive way, but I'm just saying. Trading D-Hop for David Johnson in a second, sure, that works.
Well, okay, well, it's kind of worth it when you look at it.
Well, yeah, David Johnson was good for his rookie year. Got hurt.
Then I drafted him. And oh boy,
got better. And then who did that second round pick turn into? Let's look. Houston Texans. Draft picks. There we go. That's what I was trying to think. And it might be in 2022.
And David Johnson's one good year, dude. He had 1,300 yards, 16 touchdowns, and then he had 880 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns. That is so good.
That's kind of insane.
That is unreal. Who was their pick?
I don't know if this is the pick that that did it. This is just their 2020 draft picks. Because I'm guessing
that should be it. Yeah.
Well, no, because it happened during the 2020 offseason. So it would have been 2021.
Well, wasn't it before the draft, though?
I don't think.
All right, just find out who their last 2 second-round picks were.
Okay, well, it was either Ross Blacklock.
Okay.
Or it's for a 2022 NFL set because they didn't have one last year.
Oh, okay. So not worth it.
No.
All right. Well, Matt Schaub, D-Hop, whatever you want to call it, like, doesn't really matter. They're the newest franchise.
Sure.
The most important thing is the first 2. Most of you should have Arian Foster just for his pure greatness of the first 3, like those 3 years.
Definitely.
Because they haven't had anyone since them. And then, yeah.
Definitely.
All right.
Colts.
This is where I had Vinatieri before. So I had to make I'll tell you my first 3. I have Peyton.
Good.
I have Marvin Harrison.
Johnny. You have Marvin Harrison too?
And I have Johnny Unitas.
Okay. Yeah.
So those 3 are the same.
Yeah.
My 4th, I was then after Vinatieri, I was like, okay, who? And then I thought about I'm blanking on his name. What's their coach?
Tony Dungy.
Tony Dungy is who I was thinking of for my fourth slot. Then I was thinking of like even Edgerrin James, Reggie Wayne could have made an appearance, Bob Sanders, but I ultimately decided to go with one of the best pass rushers of my life, Dwight Freeney.
Former Charger. Most lethal spin move you will ever see in your life.
Oh, ever see. Who's your fourth?
I have Reggie Wayne.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, just that whole era of minus Johnny Unitas, obviously. But with Peyton Manning as quarterback, I mean, obviously that helps. But Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne were just the most ridiculous 1-2 combo ever.
Oh, yeah, because they were both clear receiver ones on the same team.
Yeah. And then even Dallas Clark was sick for a couple of years.
Dallas Clark, don't sleep on him, dude. His mustache and like little goatee. I have to respect my boy. Okay, yeah. So Dwight Freeney, Reggie Wayne, whatever you want to call it. I really love Bob Sanders. I like Bob Sanders more than Dwight Freeney.
Yeah.
But I just think Dwight Freeney was greater for a longer period of time.
Yeah. I just love Dwight Freeney because he played for the Chargers and was just not that good for us.
Who's next?
The Jaguars. This one's tough.
Yeah, honestly, not too many.
Their teams have sucked for the 17 years that they've been.
Oh, wow. 15%. This is getting bad.
27 years. You're at how much percent?
15.
Oh, that's fine. You were at
dude, I'm just scared that this computer is gonna like shut off at like 8.
We've only done 7% when we started this. We're halfway through the AFC South, which is our third division. We're good. We're not gonna take our time here.
MJD.
Yes.
Gotta have.
Yep.
Jimmy Smith.
Yep.
Fred Taylor.
Yep.
And then my rule.
Quarterback. I also have
Mark Brunell.
Well. Yes.
Mark Brunell. Yes. Okay. I was like, dude, it's got like, I didn't realize I had that rule, and I really didn't clearly with the Ravens because I added that rule late. But like Mark Brunell, what a guy. He was never that good.
I know, and I almost wanted to include David Garrard.
That's fair. Just because of that
one play where Gus Johnson had the call. Like Sims batted down. Oh God, got it. Like,
oh my
Gus
gosh.
Johnson, if you're bored for like 25 minutes, go on YouTube. There is a whole compilation of greatest Gus Johnson calls in history.
So good.
It will make you
he
cry.
just gets so hyped. Why can't they get him in Madden, bro?
They did have him 1 year.
Oh, they did. Because, dude, oh my gosh.
They had
He's got run away from the cop speed.
Yeah.
And that seemed like racially motivated, which like wasn't good, but like it was a funny thing back in the day.
That's so fun. I love Gus Johnson. Bring him back in the NFL, please.
Yeah.
I'm done also with Madden. I'm done with Charles Davis and Brandon Gaudin. I'm sick and tired of them.
They're so boring.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Anyway, we go
Tennessee, baby.
Titans. Shout out Bryson's. Shout out Chase. It spans two pretty historic franchise, or one pretty historic franchise with the Houston Oilers.
I didn't really look at the Oilers a ton, to be honest.
All right.
I don't know. This one was hard for me, honestly.
Yeah.
I have Steve McNair.
I also do.
I have Eddie George.
Yep.
And I have Bruce Matthews.
Okay.
Those were the easiest ones for me. Last up, I have Keith Bullock, who had multiple 140 plus yard tackle or 140 plus tackle seasons, and then a bunch of 120 plus. Like, he is what's widely known as their best defender in their history.
Sure.
So I went with him just out of respect for that fact.
Sure. Who are your players again? Because I'm looking at my list. I think we might genuinely only have two in common.
Steve McNair, Eddie George, Bruce Matthews, and Keith Bullock.
Okay.
Who are your other two?
I went with Steve McNair. I went with Bruce Matthews. I went running back.
You went CJ 2K?
I went Earl Campbell.
Oh, that's fair.
And then I went with one of the first quarterbacks to really break the color barrier and to show up as a black quarterback in the league, Warren Moon.
Yeah, that's a guy I consider, but I was like, are we doing? I don't know why we wouldn't do Oilers. That's the thing. Like, I also had Bruce Matthews, who was on the Oilers. Dude, I'm looking at Earl Campbell's stats. Did he really have 1934 and 13 touchdowns? And right before that, have 1697 and 19 touchdowns? That looks like a fake thing.
when they were playing 14-game seasons?
15 looks like. Actually 16 in 79.
Okay.
So sorry.
So we basically played a Justin Herbert season with the 15 games is essentially what happened. And he still showed out like Justin Herbert did. Okay, I got to respect.
I mean, that's freaking, yeah, honestly, these stats are nuts. I'd probably have him. Who did I have? Eddie George.
Hey, on the cover of Madden.
That's true. How good was he? Oh, he was pretty good.
Yeah.
He had all 1,000-yard seasons except for one.
Yeah. I mean, it's good.
So,
it's really good.
Yeah. Sure. I guess I don't really care, honestly, at any point on this specific team. Like, you could have any player.
You're disrespecting our friends, Chase and Bryson, right there.
No, dude. I mean, when did they become Titans fan?
I think 2 years ago.
Yeah, which, like, if we had a current list, like, I'd be a lot more into it. But like, their franchise isn't super fun to me. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know why I'm so specifically like don't like their like history.
I mean, they weren't good. They sucked.
Like it doesn't really interest me.
Yeah.
So like, I guess that was part of it. It's like, it's hard to come up with players of like half of the players on those. Like, I was like looking up like best Titans players ever, like looking at all these stats. And I was like, dude, half of these players I haven't heard of. Like, I was like, come on. But yeah,
you don't know how tempted I was to put Marcus Mariota on this list. You really don't.
Caleb, you literally couldn't have.
I wanted to.
He is so not good, Caleb, and you're aware of that, right? Like, he was never good in the NFL. Like, he was never good.
He beat the Chiefs in the wild card playoffs. That's all I care about. If you can beat the Chiefs in the playoffs, you're good in my book. Also, he went to Oregon, so that also helps.
He had one fine year, and that is it.
Yeah.
Where he threw 26 touchdowns, 9 picks, 3,400 yards.
That's actually really good.
But his other years are 3,200, 13, and 15.
That's not good.
2,500, 11, and 8. 1,200. I guess he only played 7 games. But it's still not very good.
200 yards a game.
2,800 yards, 19 touchdowns, 10 picks. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was never good. Jameis was better than him. I'm not afraid to say it.
Yeah, which makes me sad.
Yeah. All right. Lastly.
Yeah. I'm watching I have NFL, the red zone replay. They're replaying week 12 right now. It's the game that the Broncos started no quarterback. They started that receiver at quarterback.
Dude, honestly, major respect to that receiver. I know he did terribly, but like, could you imagine?
What are you supposed to do?
Yeah. Could you imagine getting put in that position? All right. AFC West.
Against the Saints defense, which is pretty good. AFC West, we got the Denver Broncos up first here.
This one was kind of hard a little bit, but like some of them were easy.
I found it a little bit difficult. John Elway obviously is on this list. Terrell Davis is obviously on this list.
Of course.
It got a little bit harder after that. Steve Atwater's on my list.
Okay, I do not have Steve Atwater.
Okay.
But I respect you having Steve.
And I got Vaughn. I'm not afraid to say
you
Von
have
Miller
Vaughn.
here.
That's
not
fair.
Afraid to say it.
I will say, actually, surprisingly, I don't know. I have a guy on here over Vaughn. I don't know what it is to me. I think I need more, not more proving from Vaughn, obviously, because he's already one of the greats and he's the leading sack getter of our generation. But let me look at his stats. I feel like maybe I'm just tripping.
There was one other guy that I liked that I'm pretty sure is a Hall of Famer. Von Miller will be too, but a guy that I like just because he was like one of the only Denver Broncos that I actually liked when I was growing up. Champ Bailey is a huge...
That's who I have. Okay. I have Champ.
Okay.
I have Champ because I look at him as the best defender in that history at the moment, but I guess it's him or Vaughn, obviously. And you went Vaughn, I went Champ.
Yeah.
Just because lockdown corners, I feel like, are a lot less common than great rushers.
Yeah.
So I just went with, and then give me LeShannon, baby. Shannon Sharp.
Okay.
One of the great tight ends of all time.
Yeah.
And he's still like, the thing is, part of that is, again, I have a lot of this icon factor involved in my picks.
Oh yeah.
And he's an icon in the very way that he is literally the host of one of the most popular sports shows in the nation. Skip. But yeah, I mean, he's got multiple 1,000-yard seasons, a bunch of 800-yard seasons in an era when still tight end was not as much of a receiving threat. I'm giving LeShannon his due respect.
I respect it. I respect the Shannon Sharp shout there. A lot of SHs right there. That was some alliteration.
And in sharp shout. I like that. I like that. 12%.
Okay. We got the Kansas City Chiefs. Probably my second least favorite team in the league.
Get ready to watch them in a lot of Super Bowls.
I can't wait.
I was
They're gonna have to go through Herbie first. Okay.
I was talking to Allie yesterday or 2 days ago.
Sure.
And she was telling me, she's like, I don't understand why Caleb is such an about Patrick Mahomes. And I was like, Allie,
I've gone on record saying I like him.
No. I know. Because she's just like, he's always like, he's just so bad. But like, obviously you're joking. I'm not, that's not what I'm here to say.
Yeah.
I'm here because I defended you. I actually defended you in this instance. I said, Allie, here's the thing. When you think about it, the Chiefs are in the same division as the Chargers. Mahomes is 25 years old. Mahomes and Justin Herbert are relatively going to be in their primes at the same time. Yep. My issue is Herbert is most likely, I mean, all respect, Herbert's one of the top 10 guys talent-wise in the NFL right now, in my opinion. All respect. Mahomes is one. Realistically, if all goes well for both teams, the Chargers will always be the second best team in that division, making it
for the next
that much harder to win a division, let alone a division. Then you don't have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. You have to play an extra game. It just makes it that much harder for the Chargers to win anything ever. And it's when you finally got a dude in his prime again. And sadly, he's just in the same division as the best player in the NFL. So I understand why you hate Mahomes in that sense.
Yeah. Coda literally just killed me with his tail. That was like the most disrespectful.
Oh my gosh, guys, Caleb's dying.
Oh gosh.
Chiefs. Okay. Derek Thomas.
Yep.
Tony Gonzalez.
What is happening? Yes, Tony Gonzalez.
I have Will Shields.
Okay, yeah, I have him too, just because of the amount of Pro Bowls that man made.
Yeah, it's unreal. And then
don't say Patrick Mahomes. Don't you dare say Patrick Mahomes.
Call me crazy. Name another quarterback in their history who has done more. Not Joe Montana. Don't do that. Joe Montana's not making this list. Name another quarterback in their history who has an MVP and a Super Bowl win and a Super Bowl MVP. You literally can't. Mahomes has had probably the best start to a career that anybody could have.
You're not wrong.
And it might be too early, but I don't really care. It's too early for Lamar. It's not too early for Mahomes.
Let me look up this guy's stats here.
Who do you have?
I have Len Dawson as my guy. I don't have Patrick Mahomes yet. I just
couldn't realistically put a dude who played in the 50s and 60s and 70s who, I mean, I actually don't know his stats.
I'm looking them up right now.
I'm not super impressed. He had a 239 to 183 ratio.
Yeah.
And then Mahomes already has a 114 to 24 ratio.
So dumb. Even though that number should be like 40, but that's a topic for another video.
Should be 40.
Mahomes, genuinely watching him so much, it's shocking, not taking anything away from the fantastic player that he is, has a shocking number of drop picks, genuinely. There are picks that, and you could say that for every quarterback. And yeah. I have a list on my phone that someone did the research.
We're at 10%, just so you know.
Okay. Then topic for another video. We'll go on to the second last team, the worst team in NFL history, the absolute most just garbage franchise.
Shout out to K-Man.
Shout out, Carl. Your team is horrible. Haven't had a winning season since 2002.
But they did score in their preseason.
Oh, they scored the preseason. Sorry. Las Vegas Raiders.
I got the snake.
Have to have Kenny.
I have Charles Woodson.
Okay, I do too.
I have Marcus Allen.
Yep.
Those are three staples in my opinion.
Those are the three guys that you need to have on this list.
I have Jim Otto.
Okay. It was not bad. Jim Otto. What were his stats, if you don't mind me asking?
Let me see. Well, he was a center. So
oh yeah. Why I'm thinking Otto Graham.
He made first team all pro 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years in a row.
That's pretty
11,
good.
12, and then 13 straight Pro Bowls.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
His last 2 years he didn't, but other than that, from 1960 to 1972, that's what he was. So that was just kind of out of respect for O-linemen because it's hard to judge them.
This one I was very tempted to put another coach here. Really tempted to put the man that literally has probably had some of the most cultural impact from football to a cultural standpoint. The game is literally made after him. John Madden.
Yeah.
I didn't. I put Tim Brown on this list.
Okay. I think I would have liked if you put John Madden better, to be honest.
Screw it. I'm putting John Madden on that list.
Thank you.
I saying it and out loud.
I mean, Tim Brown just doesn't have a first team All-Pro. Like, he was a Pro Bowler, no doubt. Like, how many Pro Bowls do you make? Probably like 7 or something like that.
Sounds
3, 4, 5, 6. He made 9.
9. There you go.
9 in 17 years.
Yeah,
which is pretty good.
But I mean, John Madden only won 1 Super Bowl with them, but has like the greatest winning percentage of all
also,
time.
Also, Madden football is literally a video game.
John Madden. It started out as John Madden football, and now is just Madden because it's so well known. You don't need
I like that
anymore.
I would also have John Madden over Jim Otto.
Yeah.
But I guess I wasn't even thinking about John Madden, to be honest.
There you go.
That leaves us.
We all know my list.
Just quickly, just say the names for all of our listeners. Just run through
Rivers,
no explanation.
LT, Gatesy, and there's so many guys that I could put on this list, but I'm putting Saya. Rivers makes it over Fouts for me.
I'll tell you, I have LT.
Yep.
I have Gatesy.
As you should.
I have Junior Seau.
Correct. Those 3, I think, are 100%.
And I have Phillip Rivers. Of course, I was looking at their stats. It's not really that close. Rivers is just a better quarterback than Fouts was.
Yeah.
A lot of Fouts, I mean, he played in an era where the passing game wasn't as impactful, which naturally it's harder to compare eras.
But he was the quarterback of the offense that started the passing game wave. Literally.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, the thing is, I mean, Rivers is just better than Fouts.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes out. I had Fouts at first, and then I looked at their stats, and I was like, even though I don't want to, Rivers is better than Fouts.
Yeah. Plus, I don't really like Dan Fouts much. Man trashes the Chargers because they moved to LA. Like, get over yourself.
Who's I'm trying to think of the other guy. Oh, Kellen Winslow was a guy I also.
Kellen Winslow is probably another. I would put him over Foutsy.
Yeah, me too. And I considered him over Junior, but Junior was just, probably their best defensive player ever. So
literally just the most insane human being.
Literally went insane playing the game of football.
Yeah, unfortunately. What
Sadly,
sucks if you ever have an hour on your hands, Seau was a fantastic documentary. ESPN produced it. Literally not the nicest dude you could ever meet. And then CTE happened, and then obviously killed himself with a shotgun. They donated his brain to science. All that happened. But yeah, Chargers have had some really hit or miss with players in their career. They're either fantastic or just absolute
or should
crap.
Not be alive. Should not be alive.
No, like Marlon McCree. He should almost be on this list for what he did to Chargers fans worldwide. How do you pick off Tom Brady?
He should be on the Patriots
in the fourth quarter. He should be. How do you pick off Tom Brady in the fourth quarter with 8 minutes left? You're up 8. You score 1 point at all, a field goal, a touchdown. I don't care what you do with your drive as long as you score some sort of points. You do that, you're fine. Go down with the ball. Secure it in your hands. Don't run with it and fumble. Give them the ball further upfield than no. And the first down. They go on to tie the game, win the game with the game-winning field goal. Shock it who kicked the game-winning field goal. And there you go.
Beautiful
history. We would not.
All right, there's our Mount Rushmore of the AFC teams.
Yeah.
Now we have every team's Mount Rushmore leading into the biggest episode of the year
of possibly all time. All of What the Football. This is genuinely, besides episode 1, and maybe even more, the most anticipated, most excited I've been for an episode.
Me too.
It's the season prediction extravaganza.
We have 2 hours slotted for this. Make sure this boy's charged. Come on,
yeah. You better start trying that thing now. And
it will be at 100%, and I will not go near it until that
just
day.
leave it closed until 9.
Do my season predictor thing, and then I will be done with this.
Yep, absolutely. Wow. But tomorrow, be ready for all 32 teams. All of their record predictions. We're going to go AFC 16 through 1 seed. We're going to go NFC 16 through 1 seed.
We're going to go playoffs. We're going to go season awards.
Which
it's going to be
Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year,
Defensive Rookie of the Year,
Comeback Player of the Year, Coach
Cameron,
of the Year.
And Coach of the Year. It should just be moved to the Cameron Player of the Year. I think they should change that award.
He's never won it genuinely.
But he should.
Rivers has won one.
Okay, I'd rather have an MVP over a Comeback Player of the Year.
I'd rather have no Super Bowl losses than a Super Bowl loss. That's not true.
That's not true. That is not even a little bit true. As heartbreaking as a Super Bowl loss is, it's better than never going.
It so is. Oh, wow.
All right.
We went to 1 before the Panthers were even a team.
So it doesn't really count.
Actually, they were technically a team before, but they just hadn't played an NFL game yet.
Oh, wow. And guys, look at that. I'm at 7%.
And with that, thank you guys for listening.
And that was this actually, if you're watching this, you are the only one who could possibly have gotten that blow kiss from me because this is not live.
No, it's a YouTube exclusive. Did this on
Look at
purpose.
That. Get this on Patreon. You can get this special episode on Patreon.
We're even still on Patreon. You know what? I'm gonna get the Patreon link back up. Our links are in the description below to our Instagram, our TikTok, our Twitter, our Patreon, and our YouTube. Even though you're already here, hi, how are you doing?
Love you guys.
Thank you so much for listening. Cannot wait to see you guys tomorrow.
Oh,
and
wow.
with that, this has been What the Football?
What the Football?
What the Football?
And there it is.